What's going on, gamers? So we have a video here from Joe from Seattle, who I like his content. I see he's a Gears veteran too, just like me. Cool. Saying here that pathetic PS5 fanboys are furious about Helldivers 2 Xbox sales numbers. Man, we've done a lot of videos on Helldivers. You guys know that, right? And I told you, as long as people are going to keep acting up, I'm going to put them in the spotlight. Joe has a really good video too about some stuff people said in there. I'm like, I'm rewinding this and we're going to do this and react to it. Is why are they being so ridiculous about this still? And I know I've done some critical Xbox videos recently, but it's not to do this to help out. Really, I'm not doing it as I told you guys. No, it's just because that's just the way it is. But that's not what that is. Just in case if you guys were wondering. And of course, I clear stuff, but I don't have any problem with anyone. Love all you guys. I appreciate all the support. And let's continue this and let's get into this video because there's some interesting stuff to talk about here. Ponies, sit down. PlayStation gamers keep gaming. Nintendo gamers keep gaming. Steam Deck gamers, PC gamers, whatever, man. You know what I mean? I like gamers, just not toxic fanboys getting in the way of something that is clearly supposed to be cooperative and everybody's winning. Why?
With how hard Helldivers 2 completely broke everything on the internet when the Xbox port came out and the Halo crossover started, I didn't think we were really going to have any more console warring over this game. That's part of the reason why I made so many Helldivers Xbox port salt videos, because I didn't think I'd be able to keep riding this gravy train for as long as I did, let alone for a few more runs. But alas, dear viewer, here we are on September 2nd, I have a runny nose, and there's more Helldivers 2 Xbox salt because people are passing around a sales number for Xbox that may or may not even be real, and yet people are doing everything they can to yell about it instead of just enjoying the fact that this game is available for everyone and everyone has been enjoying it. That's something about Helldivers 2 that blows my mind. You look on Twitter, I can't find I'll see if I can find the comment that someone left on my video once. It's like you look on YouTube or basically anywhere else on the internet and discourse about Helldivers 2 and the Xbox port specifically has been like universal.
Oh, Joe, we know why, man. You know what, bro? Let's go ahead and do it because you know how this works, man. You guys know how this works. You think I'm going to miss pulling this off? I don't think so. Yeah, you guys are talking about damage. Pony's gonna be on the Twitter. Yeah, we got that PlayStation 5 Ultimate Launch Edition, and they all got platinums on that. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm.
Universally positive, completely positive, people are stoked, but then you go to Twitter and there's just PlayStation fanboys screaming about it constantly for absolutely no reason. Did you hear my throat start to close up there? I have a little bit of a cold. I have a little bit of allergies. And you know what would make me feel better? Is if you go and listen to my band's new single. My band is called Curbside Anthem. We have a new single. It's on the YouTube channel. It's also on Spotify and Apple Music. That would make me feel better. I'm sick. Listen to my band. But in case you missed it the other day, this 600,000 copies sales number was getting passed around the internet pretty easily. There are no official numbers, by the way. This is from an analytics group. It's from an analyst group, and we'll get into this particular analyst group, but the little
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. It's better than getting nothing. They're at least giving you some type of estimate, but if you really find out the method, you're like, I will wait on official numbers. But really, even then, it's not even so much about the official numbers. It's their reaction that if it did that, why are you reacting that way? How is everybody not winning in that sense? Definitely when a company said we're sharing our game. Like I told people before, I can understand if the corporation is still playing that game, but when the company says they're sharing their game with other platforms, what are we doing here? They're not going to stop the operation and go back and say, oh, yeah, because this fanboy said that I'm losing out on business. No, man, that's not how it works. And that's why I said I don't understand why you guys are still dragging this on, but you are. So we're going to keep making this content. Yeah, I mean, I promise you, Arrowhead is not mad that they have that many more players and hit the highest concurrent peak. PC players are not mad, even PlayStation players. It's only the fanboys. They probably don't even have the game, but they're saying that because they just want to play that game on Twitter. I think I might have hit a nerve.
little spoiler TLDR about this analyst group is that if you take literally anything they say at face value, you are a big dumb poopy head. But anyways, the news was that the game sold 600,000 copies on Xbox in the first 2 days, and you probably saw this graphic being spread around a whole bunch because that's the one that they use to push the
Yeah, and look at Steam, guys. It takes up such a huge part of this.
the whole thing. Now, let's make a couple things rather clear. First of all, assuming this graphic is legitimate, good God almighty, the PC player base is carrying this game. I don't want to hear another single fucking person tell me PC gamers don't buy games looking at this. My God. But second of all, 600,000 copies in the first 2 days. Mind you, this game came out on Xbox on a Tuesday. A bloody Tuesday. So before the weekend, 600,000 people bought it, and also 600,000 people on the smallest hardware ecosystem out of the 3. This is a live service multiplayer game that's been available on PlayStation and PC. The only mainstream non-Nintendo platform it hasn't been available on is Xbox, which is also the smallest ecosystem that it hasn't been available on, again, aside from Nintendo. And yet 600,000 people took time out of the work week to go buy it. I think that's a solid number. Of course, it's not the biggest number on the planet, but it
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be because, like we were saying, if it launched day one, I promise you Xbox would have at least 2 million sales or more because they would have more of the percentage. More people bought that because it was only available there. The fact that Xbox is still going to get 600,000 because it perfectly fits their demographic. That was 2 days, as I was telling people. Over time, it will get its million sales. And I've seen some people say 1 million is not good enough. They need 2 million. I'm like, no, 1 million is fine. Could they end up selling more? Who knows when the game goes on sale? But the point is that I've had people come to me and say it ain't even going to sell 250,000. And I looked and I was like, you're insane. Trust me. I'm like, you said it was going to sell 1 million. I said, no, I said it would sell 1 million copies. I didn't say it was going to open at 1 million. But even did if it opened at 1 million, yeah, that would have been amazing. I wish it would have. But it opened at 600,000. But that's the way that it opened. You really seriously think it's not going to get 1 million copies, guys? And that's not a lot after the game already being out for such a long time. That much more people were still waiting and interested in the Xbox One. Because that's the demographic in the world. It perfectly fits them. Like I said, Sony, why do you think that was their first choice? Yeah, Sony is smart for that because that's the right game to do. Everybody knows this. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't understand why a game that perfectly fits in the Xbox One is a problem. Why is your experience less? You're not losing anything. Sony sold everything they needed to sell. They're not going to lose sales, right? They're guaranteed 100 million with the Pro and the GTA 6 going to carry it right to it, man. Come on, man. Don't be dumb. You know it is. You see what I'm saying? They know that, you know what I mean? So record profits, how is Sony hurt? They're not hurt at all. As a matter of fact, they're more positive than ever this year because if you go back to January compared to what they were before, oh yeah, Sony's in a much better position. People are more happy with them on the Xbox and the PC community for doing moves like this with Helldivers and just doing it. Like you can't beat that down. Like you guys have to really see the bigger picture in the long term and not be that one little person way off in the deep end sulking where everybody else is having a good time.
It was never going to be the biggest number on the planet. It's a delayed launch on a smaller hardware ecosystem for a game that if you wanted to play it by now, there's a very good chance you would have found a way to do so. So 600,000 copies on Xbox I think is perfectly respectable. However, using Alinea Analytics, who are the people who broke this story, using them as a legitimate source is how the kids say sus. Because remember all those stories about how Final Fantasy was a giant flop on Xbox and only sold it sold like less than 100,000 copies on Xbox? Yeah, this is the firm that broke that story, and the method they used to get those numbers was they did some ratio math on the number of reviews the game had on the Xbox store. I'm not jesting. That's all they did. They counted the number of reviews the game had on the Xbox store and did some ratio multiplication based on other platforms. This is not a legitimate source of information, is what I'm saying. So there's two things going on here that we could be talking about. We could be talking about the fact that if these numbers are legit, they're perfectly, believable, and I think perfectly acceptable given the circumstances.
Correct. That's what we're saying. And I think that's kind of like why this content is so important, because even if it wasn't real or not, Joe's basically saying, if it was, look at how you're reacting to it. Why are you reacting to it that way? Why does this have to be bad to you people? I don't understand. We're all winning. Same thing with Gears. Why would you be mad at that? You know what I mean? But hey, man, look, I'm going to tell you like I tell anybody else. Guys, when we get into this world, accept that duality of the nature of the beast, of man. You see what I mean? Because even though you see that 90 something, guess what? There always has to be that little person to the side that does that one little dislike or something. You see what I mean? That duality that sometimes is just ridiculous to the extreme opposite. And I think we're kind of seeing that here. Some of them may not even know. They're kind of cultish and fanatic about it. Feels normal to them.
We could also be talking about the fact that there is an almost 0% chance these numbers actually are legit because the source they're coming from has proven themselves to not actually have any kind of inside information whatsoever, and they literally just do multiplication based on game review numbers. But are those the things people are talking about? No. The things people are talking about, at least in my fucking Twitter feed, are about how 600,000 copies is not only legitimately the number definitely, but is also a really bad, terrible, no good number, definitely.
Exactly. I knew he was talking about that. I didn't get this far, but what I'm saying is that's exactly what I'm saying. Dude, even if this was not true or not, this is about why are you guys acting that way because it's 600,000 so well, why is that, you know what I mean? Why is that bad, man? That's good. A franchise that you cared about on PlayStation now has a more living community. You played an MMO, it was down to 70K. Oh man, I'm worried about this MMO. They just brought in 600,000 people. What are we talking? You complain for? I will slap you. You know what I mean? No, not for a live service game, man. No, guys, just think about it. Like, just think about it like that. You played this online game, you cared about the community is dying. Somebody came in with a whole new group of people. That's not bad for service games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why you would deny it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Can you guess which side of the aisle these tweets are coming from? Zubitech tweets out, Alinea Analytics estimates Helldivers 2 sold 600,000 units on Xbox Series, not even 5% of Xbox Series console base. I love that. Have you guys noticed that? Have you guys noticed this thing PlayStation fanboys do? I love it. A game sells well, it sells a whole bunch of copies, but they don't want to admit that the game sold a bunch of copies, so they whip out the percentage of the user base argument, even though they would never apply this logic back to themselves. Like, yes. Oh man, game sold 600,000 copies in 2 days in the middle of a work week, even though it was like a year and a half old, and it's a game that basically everyone who wanted to play it had already. 600,000 copies, and man, and also we've been saying that Xbox gamers don't buy games.
Because what Joe is saying, it's funny that he brought up Zuby, right? Because we were talking about this before. It's the same situation with the situation that I was telling people about Astrobot. Did Astrobot sell 5% of your base? So you're gonna really sit here and be hypocritical about it, right? But they were being hypocritical about it because I was like, what is the percentage of Astro base? And it won Game of the Year. You know what I mean? But no, let's ignore that. But let's go ahead and bash Helldivers 2 that came out even later. They would have had a higher percentage if it would have launched day and date. But let's not talk about those conditions either, though. I just try to keep things fair over here. You know what I mean? Balance. You know, all those things. That's what we do over here on this channel. And yeah, the hypocrisy. Like I said, you know, even when I was covering Nintendo, I don't like the hypocrites. So I said I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. So I call out hypocrisy when I can. And if everybody calls out their own hypocrisy, it would make things easier too. But I guess sometimes people may be afraid to do that. You know what I mean? So.
Games for like years. We've been saying they only play games on Game Pass. Shoot, how do we twist this? Oh, I know. It's only 5% of the user base. Haha. These sales numbers are actually bad because it's this percentage of the total user base. I've done it. Okay, well, what percentage of the PlayStation user base bought Helldivers 2? Because according to this graphic, if you want to take this graphic as canon, that means only like 6 or 7% of the PlayStation base has Helldivers 2. Where's the line of success? 5% is bad, but 6 to 7% is fine. That's a 1 to 2% difference. You see,
that's another great example he just gave. This is why you like other people's points of views and perspectives, because he's adding something as a good example to what I just said. Now we have multiple examples. Like I told people another example. I'm going into the casino. I got 31,000 people in my casino tonight. The whole thing is lighting up. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's partying. The music is better than ever. We even got a more beta musician because we're making more money. You got these people coming in here being party poopers, right? Like, oh no, get your ass out my casino. You know what I mean? Because my casino is alive and it has more people than ever. I hit the concurrent base. You see what I mean? Why are you mad that more people are coming in the coming Why are you mad more people coming in the theme park? See? All these examples, guys, to where it's like, it's fine. It's live service. You want the biggest community as possible that's still playing with you.
See why the percentage of the user base argument is dumb? You won't define what percentage of the user base constitutes success. So why are we even talking about this? It's the same thing that people do to PC gamers. A PC game sells like 1-2 million copies, but then the console fanboys come in and they're like, oh, PC gamers are all pirates. They don't buy games. I mean, yeah, that game sold 2 million copies, but what percentage of the PC user base is that? It's like, what? It's still 2 million copies. What do you mean? Believe it or not all games have the same budget. Not all games are released under the same circumstances, so not all games share the same standard of what makes them successes. But it's not like fucking Zubitech would understand this. The fact that anyone takes this fucking guy seriously is amazing.
Exactly.
I actually got blocked by him over the weekend, finally. Surprised.
Oh, he blocked you, Joe? Well, yeah, no, you know how it is, man. You know what? I don't even know if Joe's ever seen my content, but just in case, I mean, dude, he's had me blocked all year, but I agree with him. This guy's a fucking joke, man.
It took me this long. Bro tweeted out, I've realized 90% people on this app, or so-called these journalists, don't understand systems architecture. They just fundamentally don't understand it. And I responded with the fucking Garfield... Who's that sign for meme? And big shocker surprise, I got blocked. Again, I'm surprised it took me this long. Anyways, Locky75 new quote tweets Zuby and says, oof, after dipping their toe in and testing the waters with Helldivers 2, PlayStation will be rethinking any plans they might have had on releasing more games on Xbox without a guaranteed Game Pass deal. Because 600,000 is bad. Hang on, let me just do some quick maths here. 600,000 times 40, because it was $40 for the base version. This is assuming nobody, like literally not a single person on Xbox bought one of the special editions or spent any money on microtransactions. This is assuming that all 600,000 people in this alleged stat only bought the base version. And
sorry, I mean 24 million. I don't know why I said that. I was literally thinking AAA. I'm like, wait, no. But yeah, I mean, even without that, right? And think about this too, the Super Citizen and the microtransactions that have been bought and the amount of attention. This is another algorithm, because you guys can't ignore this, that Halo has brought to make people be interested on PlayStation, and what Halo brought made people be interested on PC who also liked Xbox and liked Halo in general, because that's pulling in things, that's making people buy stuff. The Microsoft benefit for this game is actually bigger than what people think. You don't think Halo's bringing them a bunch of money and all that? You have to factor in all of this. That's why I say, why would you deny that? That Halo crossover is benefiting all of you. It fits in that world. Let's not be losers. Very good video here by Joe. I'm not going to super drag it out, but I loved everything he said, and I think this is enough to get things out. I'm going to tag him and let him know that I reacted to him. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. Keep on winning. I can't wait to see 1 million copies. So that's right, ponies. You sit down. Democracy. Get out there on the field. Get those aliens out of here. Now.